The girl had been placed in a special purification pod by her parents since childhood. She had never once stepped outside, or seen the world beyond. Because she grew up with a rare disease, she had to live in a purification chamber. But then one day a sudden earthquake struck. The entire city lost power in an instant. The pod automatically switched to its backup battery. At that moment the father was very worried about his daughter's safety. He rushed home to take care of his daughter. But when he came downstairs he felt bad. A man was sprinting away in sheer panic. A flock of birds burst into the sky above him, and then came the blaring sound of alarms echoing through the entire city. He immediately ran towards the place where the crowd had gathered. He was stunned by the scene before him. Thick clouds of unknown gas were pouring out from the sewers. People who inhaled it collapsed instantly one by one. Before Jack could even process what was happening, more of that deadly fog rolled in from the distance. Panic erupted as everyone ran for their lives. Without a second thought he bolted toward his home as fast as he could. Back at the apartment his wife stood by the window, horrified as she watched the street below. One by one people were vanishing into the spreading mist. Jack burst through the door, grabbed his wife's hand, and pulled her toward the exit. They had to leave immediately, but then came the terrible realization. Their daughter could not leave with them. The only option was to leave her inside the pod. Thankfully it was sealed airtight. The poison wouldn't be able to get in. With no time to waste they raced up the stairs. The thick fog was slowly creeping up the building. The couple flew to the roof of the building. They knocked on the neighbor's door to take refuge. The wife immediately contacted their daughter via walkie-talkie, confirming that she was safe in the decontamination chamber. They were relieved to know that she was safe in the decontamination chamber, but when they got to the balcony and looked down, the entire street was engulfed in toxic fog. Luckily it's not rising any higher, but Jack was still unsure. He took his binoculars and tried to see into the distance, but he was shocked by what he saw. The city was completely engulfed. There was no rescue. There was nothing to see but the fog. Jack returns to the hallway to take another look. He used it carefully in the depths. He realizes that the fog doesn't damage the skin. As long as you don't breathe it in, it won't affect you. But due to the city's power outage, the backup batteries in his daughter's chamber only lasted a few hours. They had to hold their breath and run home to replace the batteries before returning. It'll take at least 5 minutes. It's almost impossible to do. While they were worried, Jack suddenly remembered the old man on the 6th floor. He had an oxygen mask at home, so he decided to look for his only hope.